Secret decks are pretty common in trading card games. Once a metagame of popular decks form, groups of players will work on the perfect concoction of strong counter cards and sneaky tech cards to form the perfect deck to defeat all other decks. Secret decks that actually pan out to win events and defeat the metagame as intended are much more rare. Even more rare is what we will be discussing today, the secret fake deck of Pokemon TCG Nationals 2007.
Hey guys, Cyber. Relax! I was just gonna get there. Anyway, as this little buddy was saying, 80% of you aren't subscribed to the channel, so hit that subscribe button. It really helps. Hey, what Pokemon are you?
Pokemon players from around the world regularly use the forums on Pokegym.net as their means of discussion, banter, metagaming, and even trading cards via an honor system of mailing cards to each other. The trading is important to note since you could look through the trading post section of the forums to see which cards players were trying to get their hands on for the next big event. Just about every active player was involved in the Pokegym forums in some way, whether they were an active poster, someone who perused the forums and replied sometimes, or simply someone who told a friend something and then that friend then posted on Pokegym forums starting a game of Pokemon TCG Telephone. Just like the childhood game Telephone, in which words and phrases change as word of mouth spreads, the Pokemon TCG forums would spread misinterpreted and rumored information like wildfire. Flashback to June 2007. Someone claims to have heard from Jimmy Ballard, world's finalist, tournament organizer, and master of creating wacky decks to perform well at events, that a Claydol EX deck would be sweeping Pokemon TCG Nationals this year. This was quickly followed by forum posts appearing all over Pokegym, from trade posts, deck lists, and general questions about the Claydol EX hype that appeared out of nowhere. I'm sure at this point you're asking, well, what is so great about the Claydol EX card? Well, dear viewer, that's the thing. There is nothing great about Claydol EX. Claydol EX released in English in February 2007 in the set EX Power Keepers. EX Power Keepers was a unique phenomenon because this set released in English 5 months prior to its Japanese counterpart, since Power Keepers was the only set to be partially designed by North American employees, opposed to the design team of every other Pokemon TCG set in existence, Creatures Incorporated. Claydol EX was not the worst card of the set, but also wasn't good enough to garner any special attention. Its first attack has scaling damage output that is fair or slightly underpowered compared to other cards of the time, and the second attack, Shadow Crush, is solid, but not really worth the detriment of being on a Pokemon EX, which is worth 2 prize cards when knocked out. The interesting thing that makes Claydol EX's fake hype almost believable is its Poke Power, which allows it to switch between Psychic type and Fighting type to give your deck 2 type coverages for the price of 1. I believe this Poke Power is what led some of the community to believe that Claydol would be a force to reckon with once this hype started in June, less than a month prior to the 2007 National Championships. From forum posts claiming Claydol's undiscovered potential is real, to the non-believers in the comments, to the people scrambling to trade for these so-called important cards weeks before the National Championships, it was clear that this topic of Claydol EX was on the minds of many players. Now defunct Pokemon TCG blog Hey Trainer wrote about this secret fake deck a few years back. Hey Trainer stated, "And so, we found Claydol EX, the most horrible yet nominally believable secret card at the time. It should look horrible by anyone's standards at any time, I know, but keep in mind that its type shift Poke Power was very attractive in a metagame where Psychic and Fighting types in the same deck were a premium." Hey Trainer goes on to say, "We spread the joke to some other players, who then went wild with it and spread the idea even further, to the point where a disproportionate amount of hype going into Nationals 2007 was for this very card. This very awful card. What's even more hilarious wasn't merely that people paid attention to the card, some of these players who spread the joke gave legs to Claydol EX by making fake deck lists. I checked in with Jimmy Ballard to confirm some of this Claydol EX story. Jimmy stated that he put the idea of Claydol being a good card out there, and the community just ran with it. Jimmy told me that he never even made a deck list for the card. The community ended up making their own decks and claiming them as the Claydol EX deck, although no such deck ever existed. While he did not make a deck list or even play the card himself, he did make these t-shirts in commemoration of Claydol EX and repping his group's name, Lafante. People did end up playing Claydol EX at Nationals 2007, ranging from teching it into their deck to building their deck entirely around it, but most did poorly as expected. There are claims and rumors of someone placing top 16 in Masters Division with Claydol EX, and also a claim of a top 8 placement in the Seniors Division, but I could not find any hard evidence confirming either of these. The legend of the fake secret Claydol deck is one of my favorite stories of the Pokemon TCG. It was bound to happen with the advent of the internet and how fast information travels, and it taught the community to not trust hype surrounding new cards and strategies until you try it for yourself. Will there ever be another event like the fake Claydol deck in the future? Let us know what you think down below, and thanks for watching here on Beastcoast Pokemon.